What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mr. Bowie here on the last day of school. And this is not a typical video where I'm just beating up people. I actually have something I have to say. The reason I'm recording this video is because I just made undoubtedly the toughest decision of my life. And that decision is the decision to not return to Haines City High School next year. And there is only one reason why I'm not returning. And it has nothing to do with any students, faculty members, administration, or even the school itself. Haines City High School had nothing to do with it. It's this extraneous EOC/EOY testing. That is what drove me away. For those of you that had Algebra 2 with me, you know how the class ran. The class, ever since day 2, has been learn a new section every 2 days kind of class. And that is not a way to learn algebra, or any kind of math for that matter. That is not the way that it is supposed to be taught, because learning or mastering anything, especially something as vilified and dreaded as math is, it's gonna take some time. And you have to give people time to learn and master concepts. And you guys didn't have time. We didn't have time in class to go over concerns. I mean, I could answer individual questions and stuff like that, which I tried my best to do. But in terms of any, long-standing issues with math, I couldn't take the time really to address them like I wanted to. Like fractions. I would do mini lessons on fractions when I could. But you think a little mini lesson is gonna correct 5 or 6 years of not knowing how to do fractions? Hell no. But if I spent a week on them, just to make sure that my kids knew how to add and subtract and divide fractions without a calculator, I think that could make a difference. It might make somebody like math again. But I didn't have that option at all this year. And it was because of the testing. The state of Florida and Polk County decided that it would be cool, or it would be grand, or whatever the case is, it would be a good idea to make you guys, make Algebra 2 students have an EOC. The EOC exams by themselves are not terrible. It's not a bad idea to have an end of course exam. I'm not opposed to end of course exams. But they need to actually measure what the students learned in class. The kids should look at that exam and say, oh, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. I don't know if I can do that, but I can do that. They should see a whole bunch of questions that they can do. Easy questions that are in their language. But that's not what you saw. You saw a whole bunch of questions that you had never seen before in your life. Stuff that we never covered. And we were going as fast as humanly possible. That's not right. If that's their vision of what testing looks like in Florida, I don't want no part of it. Because the fact is, I knew from day one that we would not be able to go fast enough. We would not be able to learn math fast enough to adequately prepare you for that test. There was just no way. There's too much stuff. But does the state of Florida give a damn? No. Does Polk County give a damn? Hell no. They don't. But I tell you who did care. I cared. The reason why the decision was as hard as it was is because I love you guys. I do.
Sub-Zero wins. Faction kill.
And I'm not talking about that kiss on the cheek kind of, oh, I love you, oh, I love you too kind of love that you guys sit there and say to each other all the time in the hallway. No, 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 no. I'm talking about that real love, that, you know, that self-sacrifice kind of love. And let me explain to you what love is, because, you know, y'all think y'all know what it means to love somebody, but the reality is you don't. And you won't know for some time, but here's the cliff notes. Love is when you intentionally ignore your selfish interests or your better interests, and you do something for someone else's best interest. That's what love is. How do teachers show their love? They wake up at ungodly hours and spend countless hours preparing lessons, grading, and replying to homework. You know, trying to make their lessons as good as possible so that when it's time for you to actually learn the stuff, you know, it can go smooth. That's what we do. Your parents love you because they go to work more than likely waking up at ungodly hours when they really don't want to, or they work ridiculously long hours when their feet are hurting or their back are hurting or they have a bad back, or, you know, they have all these health problems that do not permit them to even be working as long or as hard as they do, but they do it every day, ignoring their own selfish self-interests so that you can have food on your table, new fresh clothes every year, nice shiny and technologically advanced phones that are way better than the one that I carry. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you have a really good smartphone right now that your mama or your daddy bought for you, or your grandmother, they love you. Trust me. Because them phones, they're not cheap. And even if they got the phone for cheap, that bill is not cheap. And they pay that bill because they love you. Because what they could have done was they could have, you know, took that money and they could have went on vacation with that money. They could have bought this thing or that thing, whatever they like to do. They could have spent their money on themselves, but they didn't. They decided to spend it on your ungrateful ass. And I'm not trying to snap on y'all or throw shade, but you gotta understand. I mean, you ain't gonna understand it now. but you will. You will. And your parents and your teachers love you. We sacrifice ourselves and what we want to do for your best interest, especially those ones that you think are mean and be snapping, like Miss Newburn. She love y'all. That woman has literally cried over some of the things that students have said to her or administration has said to her
Sub-Zero.
Regarding what she does.
Do not test
and she travels all the way from another county, long distances, every day to teach y'all. She doesn't have to do it. She could teach where she lives. There's a lot of schools where she lives. But she shows up to work every day on time and does what she does. That's love.
Round 2. Fight.
Now, not all teachers show our love in the same way, but we all are there because we love. And I put it like this, even if you did have a teacher who you think don't love you, I can damn sure guarantee that we love you a hell of a lot more than this damn state or this county does. And that's why I have to get out, or that's why I had to get out. That's why the decision was so hard. Because I love you guys. I love the little jokes that you guys had, the quips that you made on each other, the little cracks that y'all would be having, all the questions that you guys would ask. I loved when you guys asked questions, you know, not just about math and stuff, but even about me and, you know, Vicky and stuff. Like, you know, y'all would try to pry into my, you know, private life and stuff, but, you know, I love that. I will miss that, you know.
Sub-Zero.
And the little, you know, things that you guys did in class, like the time 5th period came up with the quadratic formula song and stuff, or the time in 6th period, or all the times in 6th period where, you know, somebody would say something unassuming like bless you, and then the class would go ooh. That's so crazy. Like, oh my goodness, that is just too much. But moments like that are what we live for, you know. I love that, and I will miss that. And but even though I will not be back, it doesn't mean I'm gone. I am nothing but an email or a Facebook message or a phone call or a text message away. And if you need my phone number, holla at me and I'll get it to you. If y'all need me for anything, you know, advice, you know, help with math or science in the future, or help with graduation, y'all let me know. Because, you know, I love you, I care for you, and I want you to succeed. All of you. All of you. I don't care if you got an A in my class, a B, a C, a D, an F, a Z. I want you to be successful. And I will miss you.
Who are you? Perhaps your ice globe.
I will miss you.
Prepare to be shattered.
Round 1. Fight.